I trained, I got my medical degree out of Houston, Texas, and University of Texas. And then I came here and I trained in adults and kids, internal medicine and pediatrics, and I fell in love with endocrinology. Does anybody know what that is? Yay! So endocrinology is the study of hormones in the body. And it's really the ebb and flow of night and day and sleep. And I really fell in love with pediatric endocrinology because it's how kids grow and thrive. And to me, it's like a plant. You add sunshine, good food, good exercise, good sleep, and kids are just grow. And those of us who are pediatricians have a joke. Kids get better despite us because they got all these amazing stem cells. And so I was very happily doing that. I worked at Phoenix Children's. I did my specialty rotations there. And then I got to a point where I started having children, and my lifestyle at Phoenix Children's, I just wasn't seeing my babies at all. And I would literally sit at my desk and cry because my children are 14 months apart, and I wasn't seeing my kids. So after, and those of you who are parents, you get this amazing instinct to love and cherish your child. And I love caring for other people's children. They were like my own children, but then I wasn't spending time with my own children. And so I opened up my own practice in 2010. And I had to learn a lot of business I didn't like, but I did it because I had the time. Now I had time with my kids. And then by 2007, healthcare just changed so much. I was literally working 24/7, on call at night, calling insurances, and it became where half of my job was yelling at insurance companies for things that cost $4 a month. And I just didn't understand how I went from, I was called to service, it's my personal thing that this is where I'm supposed to be, to I'm charging people and I can only keep my practice open if people with sick kids pay me more because the insurance put it all on patients, and on top of that I'm spending all this time. So it just wasn't what I was doing. On top of that, at that time I just kept going, but at that time I wasn't happy, but I didn't know that. And so my mother here, Sarah, and with the pearls, about 2 years ago said, you have to try this new practice. It's like nothing. She's been a yoga teacher, reflexologist her whole life, and she said, it's like nothing I've ever seen before, I've never done. So I came, and the first thing I did was something called the Finding Your True Self workshop, and it was really about connecting with who you are. Are you following your personal vision? Are you who you want to be? Are you aligned with yourself? And it reminded me when I was very young, I was very aligned with myself. I didn't care about anything. I just played outside, and I had fun with people. And I wanted that again, and I realized, like, money somehow, our health system is a little sick, because I think as long as your primary goal is profit, you will do more procedures, you will spend more money, and we spend more than any other country, but have the lowest outcomes compared to any country. We have the most procedures. Now, so in 2007, after doing my Finding True Self workshop, within 2 months I closed my practice because I realized I was not aligned with myself. I had a part of my practice that I'd had since 2005 where I worked with underserved children, so I continued to do that. But I was having symptoms of my vision was coming and going. I had paresthesias. I would bend my neck like this, and I'd have this sharp pain down my leg, which is called the hermit syndrome, which I didn't tell anybody, but is a sign of multiple sclerosis. And I already had autoimmune thyroid, which is associated with autoimmune neurological symptoms. And I got it in a dream. I got this message after Finding True Self: if you don't change anything, you're going to be debilitated. You are going to be very sick, and you are not spending any time. I was spending zero on self-care, zero. And over this period of time, I had gained and lost 100 pounds. And so just to kind of give you an idea, and I realized I was using food to calm myself down, and I was using it very inappropriately. I would not eat all day, and then I just have one massive meal, and it just, and I was like, I'm healthy, I'm young, I'm taking care of my kids, my husband's okay, my patients are okay, but I wasn't okay. I was sick, and I don't know if you guys know, but people who take care of other people, like strokes and dementia, Alzheimer's, children with, they have a tendency to die before the people they're caring for. Do you guys know that? So if we as caretakers, and I know all of you guys are because you're here, and I'm really glad you're taking the position to take care of yourself, but if we don't take care of ourselves first, we are not there to help anybody else. An empty vessel doesn't serve. And so fortunately for me, I needed to find a part of medicine that was open-minded and was willing to go further, because I started to get some massive healing. I started to see changes in myself and my body, and I started doing the positivity, which was easy for me because I do work with kids. Like, my job is I examine them by tickling them. So I have a really wonderful life that way. So I found AT Still. Are you guys familiar? There's a medical school down the road, AT Still. They're osteopathic. And the premise is mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. And the premise is the body has the ability to heal itself, and you maximize the body's natural ability before you add outside factors. Because in endocrinology, if, for example, if you took thyroid hormone and you didn't need it, the body's super intelligent. What will it do? Stop making it. Exactly. The body's intelligent. So you will never get sick from that. But you will be, then you will shut down, and your thyroid may actually stop working. That's what happens in the adrenal gland. If somebody takes a hormone they don't need. And so, and it takes a long time to figure out if somebody needs a hormone. Like, if a kid's not growing, they might be growing later. You know, that's one of the things I help with. And maybe it's their nutrition. Maybe the real problem is sleep. We produce growth hormone during REM sleep. So really maximizing our lifestyle and what the earth gives us, the sunshine and the fresh air and the nature, was much more important. And so that's led to me having a major change in my life, and I pursued more of this training. And there's a section called, the whole thing is brain education, but there's a specific part for children. And after that, I just wanted to spread it. And now I teach at AT Still Medical School. I teach first-year medical students. They just started Monday, 162 of them. And on Wednesday, they all got their self-care journals. They are and they're learning evidence-based ways for self-care, because if they are going to go out there and take care of themselves, they're going to have patients who care for themselves. And they're going to learn how to maintain, because the suicide rate is way too high in physicians right now, and doctors are dying before their patients. And there's some kind of hypocrisy that has existed in medicine. Do as I say, not as I do. You know, and back in the days, doctors were smoking and drinking and, you know, substance abuse and all sorts of things, but then you come in and don't do that, you know? So there's something very wrong to me with that, and that isn't aligned with me either. I want to be authentic. I want to be the real thing. And along the way with my gaining and losing weight, I gained and failed and lost, and I shared all that with my patients. Today, I really want to talk to you about pain. I'm curious what you guys think about pain. What does pain mean to you?
It's an alarm. Something's not right.
So your body gives you pain to give you a signal that something's not right. That's correct. Does anybody else see it any other way? No? It's information.
Yes.
It is information. And you say love information. What do you mean by that?
I said blockage.
Oh, a blockage. Sorry, I thought you said love information. I like love information.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of a blockage, something. And something caused something to go wrong, and your body's saying, hey, I don't feel good here. Can you please give me some love, give me some attention? What are we doing 95% of the time in America today when people have pain? We go and get opioids, okay? We go and get the nuclear bomb of pain medications. And then what happens within a week? You're addicted. You're addicted. You're starting to get your dopamine, your endorphins, all that happens. Those are all natural chemicals in your body it's inducing. It doesn't give you endorphins. It stimulates your natural endorphins. Or maybe we can stimulate that ourselves. And now we've had more people die because of that. And what happened to the original cause of their pain, that alarm? It went on. For all we know, they have cancer. Or their heart's not working, or their gut's not working. And what did they do with their connection to their body? You told your body, shut up, I don't want to hear you anymore. I don't want to hear anything you say. This practice is exactly the opposite of that. What pain is that? Let's pay a little more attention to it, right? Where is that hurts you? It needs love. What kind of love can it do? What we know, that if you touch your body like this, you prevent osteoporosis. Did you know that? Head-to-head studies with the drugs that strengthen the bones versus doing exercises that put pressure. We have stem cells in the bones that are stimulated when you do this. So when you guys are doing anything, you are literally preventing osteoporosis. What else do you think you're doing? What are you doing when you're clapping your hand here? You're sending blood flow. So what is the vital vitality in our body? What provides all the nutrients and oxygen? Blood. So the area that's blocked is not getting blood, that muscle, that tension, you know? And what system in our body tells us that you have pain? The brain. The brain, does the brain do it all by itself? Does the brain do it all by itself? No. Who is the brain's helpers? The nerves, the nerve tissue. So our nervous system is brilliant. It is just brilliant. It's this brain, our brain is just amazing, and it can sense anywhere we have. So what do you do when you take opioids or pain meds?
Shut it down.
Shut it down. So let's say you've been a couch potato, you've had the calling, it's time for me to take care of myself. And you just start stretching. How are you going to feel, better or worse?
Worse.
Worse every time. Why?
Because you haven't done it.
They're like, oh, when I had that hip thing, right? I'm like, notice where you hurt that you didn't know you hurt. Did I cause that pain by having to do this? No, you notice the pain that's there, that you've been ignoring. So the first thing that happens when people start a new exercise routine or start eating or even start doing this, which brings blood flow to, and we can have a whole hour conversation or week conversation about the hormones in here and how this leads to health. But you may get some bruising and you may get some pain. Doctors who are not had the training that I've had, what are they going to say to you?
Stop doing this.
Stop. Oh, you say, doctor, when I raise my hand, it hurts. What's the joke? Don't raise it. Hey, doctor, when I go to body and brain and I do this thing, I get a bruise and it hurts. What should I do? Stop doing that and don't complain to me anymore. Or here's a pill, And I don't think us doctors feel good about that, honestly. I think we're not the only ones. And I can tell you the students I'm teaching are not going to do that. They're osteopathic and they actually heal with their hands, which I'm learning. The osteopaths do everything that MDs do, the DOs, but they also, the originator, AT Still, out of his first class came chiropractor. So it's actually better than chiropractor because it's a little more gentle. They don't